Serious, Redditors who gave up pursuing their dream to settle for a more secure or comfortable life. How did it turn out and do you regret your decision? I went to school for and worked as a video game developer. I saw the crunch times, the frequent layoffs, and general instability of the industry and decided it wasn't for me after all. Been doing work in various industries trying to find something I want to do for a living. Came to the conclusion that I will never like working. So I am settled in at an aerospace manufacturing plant that has been in operation since World War II, and I can and probably will spend the rest of my working days here. I've decided that it's better for me to get my life's fulfillment from my hobbies and relationships instead of my work. I started programming at 14 as I wanted to make games. Made a load of them in my spare time. Went to university to do computer games tech. Switched course in my first week to computer science as I came to the realization that in the games industry I would get paid less to experience more stress and work more hours, all while still creating someone else's vision. I'm 30 now and I'm a developer team lead doing business software, working 95% remotely in a 37.5-hour work week, and in 8 years I have done no more than about 20 hours of overtime in total. I try and make games in my spare time, but even with the amazing free tools these days, for example Unity, Versus, Blender, and GIMP, I rarely have the energy to do more dev after doing it as a job. I don't regret changing direction, but if I could make games with the same work-life balance, pay, and benefits as working in software dev, I would. I've been on basically the same life path as you, except I never actually went to college with the idea of becoming a game dev. When I got out of high school, it was my dream job. I never ended up following through on it though. I had more pressing personal stuff to take care of. Fast forward 10 years and I finally decided to go back to school after wasting a few years in retail. In those 10 years, I read so many horror stories about the gaming industry that made me swear off of ever becoming a developer. All of that passion I had for making games has now turned into a passion for programming, and I'm currently working on earning a bachelor's in computer science. I just finished my first year of college with a 4.0. I'm glad that I waited. Video game developer here also. Out of curiosity, how long did you spend in the industry? I think the average is 5 years, then most quit. Those that do stay for good. Did you work AAA or indie? I have worked indie, and had pretty good success, made lots of friends, and got lucky that we are all passionate, smart, and driven, and I guess importantly, financially stable. I think if I had gone straight into AAA, I have had offers to work on big AAA stuff, I would have hated it. I'm currently working with the mentality if I want to go AAA, I need to go in high enough to get past most of the BS that comes with it. At least that's what I have heard from the experienced guys, 30 plus years. Man, fair play at making indie work. I'm 8 years and worked startup to AAA. First year indie was last year, and going from 70K-22K, gross, has been crushing. I love what I do, but I don't know if I can keep this up into next year. I'm just trying to keep the bills paid at this stage. Jesus, 8 years of hard coding and you're sitting at 22K? I worked for an insurance company that paid 6 figures for easier work. Game developers are notoriously underpaid compared to their other software developer counterparts. A lot of AAA get away with it because they know they have a line of people behind you who desperately want to get into the industry, who are naive about the crazy work hours and crunch those companies make you do for the pay you get. Bang on. This is true of almost all highly sought-after computer science companies. If it's a must-have on a resume, Google, Microsoft, EA, etc., it will be filled with super smart people doing underrated jobs. The upper position jobs can be amazing, but the entry-level ones usually have high turnover and don't usually live up to the hype. I've found smaller companies to be much more rewarding on that. The structure is more flat and even juniors can have a significant impact on decisions. Obviously, YMMV. I worked in video games for almost 19 years. I worked for Sega as a tester in college, got a master's degree in education and worked for the learning company designing educational games. The educational software market started to collapse. I eventually left the industry for other fields, but I miss making games for kids. I've met so many people who grew up playing the games I designed and built. Maybe after my kids are out of the house I'll try to make games again. My dream is to have a comfortable and secure life. Still working on it. Yeah, all these comments be like I had some fun years trying to pursue my dream, then it didn't work out, so now I just naturally have some sick as stable job and I'm loaded as F and have the best life. I don't have dreams. I'd be fine with the second part, but no clue how I'd ever get that. Effin' a man, I've been scrolling trying to find a normal person for a while. My band didn't work out, so I just got a PhD and bought a few houses. Here you go. I wanted to be a professional musician. I was pretty good for a young guy and went to college to get better. I met a girl. We got married. I had weird outdated beliefs at the time that it was important for a man to provide for his wife so she could stay home, so I quit college and got a regular job. I worked a regular job for 10 years, barely making ends meet, no savings, and no cool vacations. Then, I got a job teaching music. Maybe my resume wasn't clear enough. Maybe they thought I had finished my degree. Who knows, but I impressed the hell out of the school director on the test run and was hired. I was doing my dream, albeit modified. I taught music for 5 years, but I worked another job, sometimes two, to make the bills. We were financially wrecked, but man was I having fun for 40 of my 70 working hours. When I noticed family life was starting to crumble, I quit and went full-time at one of my side hustles. The pay is fair and we're not drowning in financial stress, but still, we can't save, can't afford vacations, can't afford medical insurance, our cars are 15 years old, and my job is pretty unfulfilling, but hey, at least I'm home more often. The new dream is to live in a van down by the river. It's funny, that was a joke in a Chris Farley sketch on SNL 25 years ago where the character was portrayed as a failure, but now it's the dream for many. I tried to juggle my dream with a regular job only to realize even a regular job wouldn't allow me pay my bills. My country is doomed. Having a secure and comfortable boring job is even a dream for most young people. I got sick of chasing my dreams, so I asked them where they're going and I'm going to hook up with them later. Mitch Hedberg. Couldn't have said it better. Right now I'm studying at university, which I know is not the best or the hardest, but it has really good employability, so as long as I will learn something and eventually land some stable job, I will be pretty happy. My dream is to not see suicide as the only way out of poverty. Threads like this make me a little envious of people who are at least average in terms of intelligence and real-world skills. None of the things I'm good at are ever going to make me financially successful, and I am too stupid to ever hope to do anything that makes more than minimum wage. Hey man, don't sell yourself short. I have worked with so many useless stupid people who have high-paying jobs. There are gobs of people who have no talent for anything and a living wage. Don't forget the bosses. So many stupid people and they're all making bank. No. I was on the path to becoming a professor, and I don't regret leaving academia at all. The pay is terrible, the requirements to achieve your dream can crush the soul out of you if you're not careful, and the chances of achieving actual job security grow dimmer by the day. There are some things I miss about it, but I really can't regret choosing a good paying, if somewhat more boring, office job that gives me security and disposable income to pursue my own hobbies and travel, before the pandemic, of course. Edit. Wow. Thanks so much for the upvotes and awards. It's been really interesting to read about everyone's different experiences and perspectives. I left after half a PhD in English. I think the moment I checked out was watching my tiny, 76-year-old professor totter home from the office at 10 p.m. She had probably taken a 16-hour work day. You mean I have to work this hard, only to earn the privilege of working that hard? I thought to myself. That, and the fact that the work was colonizing every waking hour, and that I was not coping in healthy ways. I still miss lots of things about it. I made some of my very best friends in graduate school, and I felt like I was part of a community. Now, I often feel like I'm wasting my life making someone else money. On the other hand, I've been able to travel all over the world, thanks to the income I get. I'm married, own my own home, and I just had my first child. So things are very, very good. Maybe one day I'll find work that is fulfilling. Edit. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. I'm trying to reply to people, and I appreciate the support a lot of you all have offered. I'm going to quickly address the common questions. I work as a technical writer, which is a career path I can definitely recommend for those who went down the same path I did. Many are asking for friends and relatives studying English, and regardless of whether they pursue the career, studying technical writing will improve concision, audience analysis, and clarity. I cannot recommend it enough. Many ask if a PhD in the humanities is worth it. No one can tell you that, of course. But I'll lay out my thinking, in case it's helpful. I work with some 23-year-olds, and sometimes think, gosh, wouldn't it be great if I had started such a good job so early in life? At that time, I was 27 or so. Upon reflection, I feel just the opposite. I got to study something I really, truly loved for a time. I developed knowledge that is critical to my personality and political perspective. I am immensely grateful for that. On the other hand, there was a tremendous amount of suffering packed into those years, and I will bear the scars of some of that pain until I die. I am now something of a hybrid, obviously not quite just a regular guy, on account of my annoying etymological musings and distracted air. These are not traits I am proud of, to be honest. My wife would say that I have gotten much better over the years, though. None of that is helpful for whether you should study for a PhD, but that's sort of what I'm going for. Maybe some of that will help some poor academic aspirant think through their decision. There are lots of people asking what my professor was doing / why was she working like that if she has tenure? While she certainly could rest on her laurels, the fact is that earning and maintaining a TT job at a top 20 program requires publication of a book every couple years, as well as an article once or twice a year. Worse, it's a total time sink when you're doing this kind of work. Every moment is an I could be working moment. And if you don't ever find that fulfillment, I think that's okay. My wife and I both work in healthcare. She works with kids and is super passionate about her work. Sometimes I'm envious of her. While I like what I do, hours are good, helping people is nice, co-workers are great, I could be doing anything else professionally, with similar hours / pay, and would probably be just as happy. Point being, I think people put too much pressure on needing to be passionate about what you do professionally. For me, work will always be work. But that work allows me to pursue other things I'm passionate about in my free time, hobbies, travel, entertainment, etc. Yep. I work mainly to have the money to live the life I want. I like my job, and I have great coworkers, but work is not my passion. And that's okay. On the flip side, I have also worked a job where I hated the company culture, and didn't have any real connection with any coworkers. That will drain your soul. Same here. I'm a software engineer and I'm good at my job and enjoy it, but I'm not at all interested in the hobby side of programming. I hated working at a large company with boring people, so I changed jobs. The work is extremely similar, but the people make it enjoyable. I also have even more flexible hours thanks to the pandemic, so I can spend time on the hobby I'm actually passionate about, long distance running / trail running, without affecting my work, which is a nice win / win situation. I also left a PhD / academia, and although I do miss parts of it, overall I'm happy I left. I think I really had rose-tinted glasses about academia. I saw the eccentric academics, and worked with some, loved really getting super deep into a subject and becoming an expert on it. I got to travel internationally to conferences, like South Korea, and met some great friends. I was definitely drawn in by it for a good few years. The problem is that these are all add-ons to a career that would be unstable for a long time. My supervisor was 40 by the time she got a permanent position somewhere. It was all fixed-term contracts of 1 to 2 years before then. There are also a lot of egos around. These people who are the world's experts in a tiny topic know they probably know more than almost anyone else about it, and being heralded can be a massive ego boost. On the other side as well, I didn't enjoy the amount of criticism. Research has to be accurate, as in some areas it informs policy and in others research builds based on what has come before, which means it needs a solid foundation. This all means that every presentation, every piece of work you do is subject to thorough examination by your peers, higher-up academics, with their own egos and opinions that may conflict with yours about methodology, and the lines between you and your work can feel very blurry. I saw established academics crumble at conferences because every single piece of their presentation was picked apart. It's harsh. So whilst I am definitely happy that I got to experience my dream of academia, I am also pleased to be out of it on the whole. I don't think I could be happy long-term. It's too tumultuous. My current job is still research, but in a more corporate environment, and although it's not 100% right for me, it is definitely a lot easier to manage. I stuck through my PhD to the end, but the instability of the work has led me to change my outlook on the job market. I can't move every couple years just hoping that sooner or later a tenure-track job will materialize. I have a partner who is also building a career. That's why I took a teaching job that is a renewable contract. I don't love the subject matter, but it's a good work environment and I make enough to be content. I left after the PhD, too. I loved being a scientist, but I'd also love to settle down somewhere and not be uprooted and job hunting every 2 years. My supervisor was 40 by the time she got a permanent position somewhere. My wife did the adjunct shuffle for a while before getting hired to a full-time, unionized, tenure-track position in 1998. The guy she replaced got hired at a job fair for academics in the early 70s. Many of that generation of academics got hired at job fairs and by answering classified ads. Never had to adjunct or be work as a temp. They all got tenured and promoted the first time they applied as well. Came here looking for someone who gave up academia. I've just finished my master's, but I'm not sure if I want to do a PhD anymore. I always thought I wanted to do a PhD in physics, but it looks like a road full of pressure and anxiety and 60 hours a week workload. I left 5 years ago. Best decision. I make more, have a secure job, get to live near family, have more time, and I do not miss the politics of it all. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Readers' new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.